Cassette 3, Side B. How many of you remember the Oh My Dollar Valentines?
How many of us would rather forget?
Those were fun, weren't they? You fill out a survey, the computer analyzes your answers, then cross-references with the other surveys. For just $1, you get the name and number of your one true soulmate. For $5, you get the top 5. And hey, all proceeds go to a worthy cause.
Cheer camp.
Cheer camp. Each morning over the loudspeaker came the cheery announcements. Don't forget, there's only 4 more days to turn in your surveys. Only 4 more lonely days until your true love is revealed. And every morning, a new peppy cheerleader continued the countdown. Only 3 more days. Only 2 more days. Just 1 more day. Today's the day.
For every foot of sidewalk I put between Tyler's house, Marcus, and me, the muscles in my shoulders relax a little more.
Then the whole squad of cheerleaders sang, Oh my dollar, oh my dollar, oh my dollar Valentine. This, of course, was followed by whoops and hollers and cheers. I always imagined them doing kicks and splits and tossing their pom-poms around the attendance office.
I walked by the attendance office once on an errand for a teacher. That's exactly what they were doing.
And yes, I did fill out my survey. I've been a sucker for surveys my whole life. If you ever caught me reading one of those teen magazines, I swear it wasn't for the makeup tips. It was for the surveys.
Because you never wore makeup, Hannah. You didn't need it.
Fine. Some of the hair and makeup tips were helpful.
You wore makeup?
But I only picked the magazines up for the surveys. The tips were a bonus. Do you remember those career surveys we had to fill out freshman year? The ones that were supposed to help us choose electives? According to my survey, I'd make a wonderful lumberjack. And if that career didn't work out, I could use my fallback career as an astronaut. An astronaut or a lumberjack? Seriously? Thanks for the help.
I don't remember my fallback career, but I got the lumberjack too. I tried figuring out why the test saw that as a best career path. True, I marked down that I like the outdoors, but who doesn't? Doesn't mean I like cutting down trees.
The Valentine survey was a 2-parter. First, you described yourself. Hair color, eye color, height, body type, favorite type of music and movie. Then you put a check beside your top 3 things to do on weekends. Which is funny because whoever designed the list forgot to mention drinking and sex, which would have been the most accurate response for most of our student body. In all, there were about 20 questions. And I know, based on who appeared on my list, that not everyone answered honestly.
In the middle of the sidewalk, beneath a street lamp, is a dark green metal bench. At one time, maybe this was a bus stop, but now it's just a bench to relax on, for old people or anyone too tired to walk. For me.
For part 2 of the survey, it was your turn to describe what you were looking for in a soulmate. Their height, their body type, if they're athletic or not, shy or outgoing.
I sit on the cold metal and lean forward, dropping my head into my hands. Only a handful of blocks from home, and I don't know where to go.
As I filled mine out, I found myself describing a certain someone at our school.
I should have answered my survey seriously.
You'd think that if my answers all described one person, that person would have at least appeared in my top 5. But that person must have been immune to the cheerleaders and their cheers, because he didn't end up on my list anywhere. And no, I'm not telling you his name. Yet.
For fun, I filled mine out as Holden Caulfield from The Catcher in the Rye, that semester's required reading and the first person to come to mind. Holden, what a horrible first date that depressed loner would have made.
The moment the surveys were distributed in third period history, I bubbled in my answers.
There sure were some weird names on my list. Exactly the sort of people I'd expect to fall for Holden Caulfield.
It was your typical day in Coach Patrick's history class. Decipher a bunch of notes scribbled on the board, probably 5 minutes before class started, then copy them down in your notebook. If you finish before the end of class, read pages 8 through 194 in your textbook. And don't fall asleep. And no talking.
How was I to know every single one of those girls would call me? I assumed everyone at school saw the survey as a joke, just a fundraiser for cheer camp.
After class, I walked straight to the student body office. At the end of the counter, closest to the door, was the drop-off box. A large shoebox with a slit cut in the top and decorated with cut-out pink and red hearts. The red hearts had "Oh My Dollar Valentine" written on them. The pink ones had green dollar signs. I folded my survey in half, slipped it into the box, then turned around to leave. But Miss Benson, smiley as usual, was standing right there. "Hannah Baker?" she said. "I didn't know you and Courtney Crimson were friends." The look on my face must have expressed exactly what I was thinking, because right away she backpedaled. "Oh, at least that's what I figured. That's what it looked like. I mean, you are friends, aren't you?"
That lady is beyond nosy.
My first thought was of Tyler standing outside my window, and I was furious. Was he actually showing off those peeping Tom photos to Miss Benson? No,